Human presence is felt across the planet, most of the time negatively. Human activities have created many environmental problems. Plastic pollution has turned out to be a serious environmental and health problem of today. Pollution by plastic waste stretches from land to the ocean. Marine plastic pollution is a major environmental crisis that the entire world is struggling to solve. Through this presentation, we will look at one aspect of plastic pollution that we have not paid enough attention. That is, pollution caused by plastic microbeads. As you know, plastics have entered our lives in a big way. This is simply because it is cheap and easy to use. A single human being uses a lot of plastics from his cradle to grave, starting from a baby's feeding bottle, toys and other baby items, to the plastic chairs used at funerals of people. You are sure to see plastics. Look around you and you will see what I mean. How many of you are using plastic bottles, bags, toys, accessories, school equipment, home and garden appliances? What about the endless food wrappers that enter your home? The long list of plastic items that you see will go on and on. Of course, some of the plastics are essential. Say for instance, plastics used in the medical field or those used to manufacture electrical goods or vehicles. But do you know that there are so many plastics that we use unnecessarily? Lots of these plastics are single-use plastics like straws, water bottles, plastic bags, or food containers and wrappers. The plastics that we use are disposed carelessly. Take a walk along a street or a beach. You are sure to see lots of plastic waste thrown away carelessly. Excessive use and mismanagement of plastics have become a serious environmental and health crisis, not only in our country but in the entire world. Plastic waste has left trails from the tallest mountains on land to the deepest trenches of the ocean. I think I must tell you this worrying story about the newly discovered animal from the Mariana Trench, the deepest place in the ocean. In 2020, scientists named it Eurythinus plasticus after finding plastics in its body. Studies have shown that about 8 to 12 million tons of plastic waste enters the ocean annually. Most of the plastics enter the ocean from land-based sources. Since the ocean has no boundaries, plastic waste that enters from one country can travel into faraway places through the ocean currents. It has been found that most of these waste gets accumulated in ocean gyres. As a result, there are 5 large garbage patches in the ocean. These garbage patches can be seen in the North Pacific, South Pacific, North Atlantic, South Atlantic, and the Indian Ocean gyres. Out of these, the biggest garbage patch is seen in the South Pacific Ocean gyre, and it spreads over 1.6 million square kilometers of the ocean surface, which is about 3 times the size of France. Most of the plastics are made out of fossil fuels. Crude oil and natural gas are its primary sources. Plastics consist of large molecules known as polymers. Chemicals, referred to as additives, are added to the process of manufacturing plastics. Plastics are not biodegradable. With time, it breaks into small pieces and stays in the environment for hundreds of years. Do you know that a baby pamper will take about 500 years to degrade? What about the plastic straws that you throw away? These will take about 200 years to degrade. The tiny pieces of breaking plastics that are less than 5 millimeters in size are called microplastics. With time, it further breaks into even smaller pieces, and those that are less than 1 micrometer in size are called nanoplastics. Microplastics can actually be created in two ways. One is when big plastics break into tiny pieces with time, as I mentioned, and two, by intentionally creating to be used in various products such as cosmetics and personal care products. We will turn our eyes into the second category of microplastics, the intentionally created category. The cosmetic industry intentionally uses microplastics for cosmetics and personal care products. They call it microbeads, a marketing term introduced through their industry. Plastic microbeads are small, solid, manufactured plastic articles that are less than 5 millimeters in size. Microbeads do not degrade in a hurry or dissolve in water. Microbeads are commonly used in exfoliating products and toothpaste. Plastic microbeads that are used in cosmetics are mainly made of polyethylene and polymethyl methacrylate. Plastic microbeads are microplastics that are added to a range of cosmetics and personal care products like scrubs, lipstick, nail polish, anti-aging cream, glitter, hairspray, toothpaste, and shampoo. Why are microplastics or plastic microbeads added? It is added for the purpose of scrubbing, exfoliating, viscosity regulation, emulsification, and moisturizing. It is also used as a bulking agent, abrasive, and liquid absorber. Controlling active ingredient outflow is also one of its functions. Plastic microbeads are bad for the ocean and our health. That is because plastic microbeads are not degradable and non-recyclable. It flows from our washroom sink into drains, rivers, and finally to the ocean. Plastic microbeads are so tiny that water filtration cannot pick it. Do you think it is possible for you to collect these tiny beads once it enters the environment? Impossible, isn't it? Aquatic organisms, marine mammals, and seabirds mistake it for food. These pictures show you the gravity of plastic pollution. Even microscopic organisms have ingested microplastics. When aquatic organisms ingest plastics, including microplastics, it means health problems and slow and painful death for them. Although we are talking about the ocean, this situation is true for terrestrial organisms as well. Microplastics and microbeads find their way into our bodies through food chains. As you know, we are at the top of the marine food chains. What about the salt we consume? When the ocean is contaminated with microplastics and plastic microbeads, the salt we consume also gets contaminated with it. They act as tiny sponges attracting harmful chemicals. These chemicals also enter our bodies with the microplastics and plastic microbeads. We can get hormone-related and other cancers, respiratory diseases, liver, brain, and nerve damages, as well as kidney diseases. There are numerous studies on this issue. It is worth if you could spend a little time to read these and expand your knowledge on it. Several countries like Canada, USA, UK, Sweden, France, Scotland, Northern Ireland, Wales, Taiwan, South Korea, and New Zealand have already banned microplastic beads in cosmetics and personal care products. This is because they have seen its impact on the environment and health. If you, your relatives, and friends are using cosmetics, check the label to see whether it contains plastics. Also, in some of these products, it is visible. Some products carry the Zero Plastic Inside logo. There is also an app developed by Beat the Microbead global campaign to detect microplastics in cosmetics and personal care products. It's time to reduce your plastic footprint. Follow the R's: refuse, reduce, reuse, recycle, and rethink. Manage your plastics. Avoid using cosmetics and personal care products containing plastic microbeads. Say no to single-use plastics unless it's absolutely needed. Avoid using unnecessary plastics. Can't you carry cloth or other eco-friendly bags for your marketing? Why do you want to go for a plastic bottle when there are other options? Sure, you do not need spoons for yogurt cups that you bring home. Always think and be creative. Be mindful when you dispose plastic waste. It comes back to you with bad effects. The 8 to 12 million tons of plastics that flow into the ocean every year include about 236,000 tons of microplastics. How can the marine environment, including marine life, bear this? Life on planet Earth is possible because of the ocean. Its environmental services include balancing the atmospheric composition and water cycle, climate regulation, and being home to millions of different life forms. Marine plastic pollution has badly affected the marine environment and the human survival as well. Sri Lanka is also a victim and a contributor to marine plastic pollution. The ocean is a wealth for Sri Lanka, a tiny tropical island in the Indian Ocean. Apart from its environmental services, the ocean also gives many economic benefits to the country. Goal 14 of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, Life Below Water, also targets to reduce all kinds of marine pollution, including pollution caused by land-based activities and marine debris by 2025. Therefore, we must pay urgent attention to the problem of marine plastic pollution and act immediately to reduce it. A polluted ocean will threaten its animals and plants as well as the health and survival of the human race. A clean ocean is a must for life to be possible on planet Earth. Thank you.